Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to JR Studios. I'm your host, J Voodoo Child, and this is a follow-up video for my Steam Over Europe era savings video. And here I've taken the time to do the math for you, and I put it here in this spreadsheet, and hopefully these numbers are obvious on what I'm trying to talk about. I think this will prove the point that I'm trying to make. Keeping people out of your cities will save you so much more time to do other things to improve your region rankings. And so here we've got listed all the level 13 and level 12 landmarks that are currently in Loch Ness. This is about 6.5 days into Era 4. So almost halfway through Era 4. And these just happen to be the top 10 landmarks. This is the best that the server has to offer in its present form. As you see with the population column, those two cities highlighted in yellow, those are what I'm basing the percentages on for the cargo, passenger, and donations. As you can see, with all three of those categories, the percentages when compared to the population of St. Petersburg all generate the same percentage, no matter whether it's dealing with cargo, passengers, or donations. They're all dealing with the exact same percentages. And so, just looking at the level 13 landmarks right now, St. Petersburg, that's 100%. So the amount of tons that go in there, it would still take the same amount of time to go there. But you would save 4% in time if the people who are going to have to fill up Glasgow would have been hauling in St. Petersburg instead. So their populations are 5 different, so not a big deal there. Let's see what's next. Kiev, 82%. 18% time that you could be spent doing something else, and that's with 13 extra people connected to that city. Now I will preface that this is the pop that I took earlier this afternoon. Obviously these pops have changed since they leveled into 13, so it's not a precise number, and I'll speak on that a little bit, but this is just a snapshot in time. The big differences are, or the thing I'm trying to focus on right now, are the percentages for the cargo, passengers, and donations, because those are the requirements for level 13. And basically, let's see here, Moscow, has to spend 23% extra time hauling to Moscow than if they were in St. Petersburg. The same people, the amount of tons that will be hauled to the Moscow lastly, 23%. You go down next, let's see here, 65%. Copenhagen, nearly a third of the time. Actually, that's better than a third of the time. Manchester, 3/5, or excuse me, 3/5 of the time that you can save there. And then we get to the worst case, Madrid, 53%. You could save 53% of the time that it takes Madrid population to level from 13 to 14. You could do that in half the time if you just had St. Petersburg's population when they moved into level 13. That's crazy. And look, it's even worse with the population that I've taken today. If all these landmarks leveled up at the same time, the population in Madrid is now 84. So they'd be looking at 2/3 more time to level up, whatever it's going to take to, cap the landmark. When you have level 14, 2/3 more time that you could be spending doing anything else. Over to the right, we have the savings just in donations. Madrid is obviously the worst case right here. $307 million could be saved in just one city of the five if they kept their population to that of St. Petersburg. What can you do for a city population, within one corp, essentially? What could that corp do with $307 million? Well, one thing, they'd get the worker of their choices, any number of things. Do everyone in that corp have max labs, max restaurants, shopping centers, hotels, any of that stuff? That's just more money that they could have for the rest of the round that can be applied for other things. And with the labs, getting to those upgrades that much sooner, getting that extra revenue, getting those extra tons, it just snowballs. And we're nearly 2/3 of the way through the round. How much time could be spent doing other things? How much money could be spent doing other things to advance your account, to get max out all those building numbers so you can have the highest revenue coming into your account as possible? How many extra tons is that? How much time is saved just from that aspect? It compounds itself. And hopefully these numbers right here are just plainly obvious. We go down to the level 12s. Malaga, which I'm currently hauling in. Cardiff is the lowest there. So Oslo, 27% time that they could be doing something else. Malaga, nearly a third time doing something else. 1 million, or excuse me, $117 million. This is huge. I hope it's obvious. And everyone plays the in-game pretty much the same. All the new players are taught this is the way in-game is played, and eventually they'll come on board. Golden hours. All new players are taught what golden hours are, and eventually they'll get down to it and they'll adopt it for themselves. These are things that are kind of known on the servers that I play on. Is it that much of a stretch to say, hey, stay out of the cities, don't connect there? Connect to all the landmarks you want to, but just don't do those extra tracks, that one extra track to connect to the city. If you do that, we can level all this stuff so much faster. And that's time that you can put in for anything else you want to do in the round. And the only thing that has to be solved is how to get passengers to level up the city. Haven't looked at, I've tried looking back through my system messages to figure out how often Malaga has leveled since the 2 or 3 levels that I've been there. But I'm saying at least 4 days. So if we did that in 3 days, you telling me that a small number of people can't haul in just passengers city to city, can't fill up that in 3 days? And just think of how much savings that is for the rest of the team, for the rest of the people in that city, for the entire region. You can solve the passengers going to the city with so few players. And it means a great deal as far as time, as far as money for the entire region. And that's the ball game. Steam Over Europe is all about the region points, the region rankings. From 11 to 15% of the top 10 players last round got their prestige from just the rankings, being in the first or second place region. Was 11 to 15% of all of their prestige incomes. That's not inconsiderate at all. So, this is it. And hopefully these numbers are plain to see for everyone. I hope you're able to utilize this in your games round. And I'll talk a little bit more about what I want to do for the next round. So, until then, thank you very much, and I hope this has been meaningful for you. Take care.